Well, they might have one foot in the morgue, but they are not dead quite yet. Caps win! Touchdown plus the extra point conversion, 7-3 over the Calgary Flames. And much like my dog before he went to the groomers last week, it got hairy for a minute there. Yes, this game was a tale of two teams. And by two teams, I of course mean the Washington Capitals, who showed up in the first and third periods, and the Washington Capitals who showed up in the second period. So, first period, right? The Washington Capitals off to a phenomenal start. 2 minutes and 46 seconds in, Martin Feravari shot from the blue line. Hendrix Lapierre snaps in the rebound past Devin Cooley, caps up 1-0. Then, less than 7 minutes after that, Jacob Chychrun at the point with the shot pass that Dylan Strome deflects pretty perfectly there from the slot. Puck gets to the net. It caroms off of Alexei Protas in front and goes straight over to Tom Wilson at the side of the net. And Tom Wilson buries this thing at a very sharp angle there. Beautiful shot by Tom Wilson for his 24th goal of this season already for Big Tom. What a shot there, like I said, puts the Caps up 2-0. Then, before the first period comes to a close, Justin Sourdif in on the forecheck, and he is in there hard. He is first to this puck there. He fights off a number of Calgary Flames defenders here. There were like 2 or 3 Calgary Flames players right on him, and 4 around him. If you count 1, 2, 3, 4 all around him, he fights them all off there along the wall, and then he finds Connor McMichael sneaking into the slot, left wide open, obviously, because like I said, there were like 4 Calgary Flames players surrounding Justin Sourdif there. Finds Connor McMichael wide open in the slot, and Connor McMichael makes this one count here, beating Devin Cooley clean, top corner for the goal, and the Caps are up 3-0, like I said before the end of the first period, and that is how the first period would end here, with the Caps up 3-0. So, good Caps, right? Good Capitals in the first period. But then we head to the second period, and this is possibly the most Jekyll and Hyde shit you will ever see. First, an even strength goal for the Flames makes it 3-1. That goal by the Flames at even strength came 16 minutes and 8 seconds into the second period, okay? Remember that. Because less than a minute and a half later, at 17:32, okay? The Caps, they get a power play here. And so you're thinking, all right, on the power play here, near the end of the second period with a 3-1 lead, right? This is good, huh? Isn't it? Isn't it good? It's supposed to be good, but hey, remember how I said that this penalty on the Calgary Flames here came at the 17:32 mark of the second period? Okay, 17:39, Blake Coleman scores for the Flames. 7 seconds into the Capitals power play, the Calgary Flames, who are at the bottom of the standings, by the way, they score the short-handed goal to cut the Caps lead to 3-2. And the goal comes off of the initial face-off on the power play in the Calgary Flames zone, where power plays begin, right? You always begin now in the offensive zone on the power play. Off of the initial face-off in the Calgary Flames zone, which Dylan Strome wins. Dylan Strome wins the face-off to Tom Wilson. Tom Wilson puts it back to the point, to the rookie, Ryan Leonard, who was playing the point on this power play. They were trying to change it up here. It was not Alex Ovechkin in his usual spot at the point there. It was the rookie, Ryan Leonard. Tom Wilson, back to Ryan Leonard at the point. The rookie, Ryan Leonard here, he decides for some reason to pass this puck directly at 2 Calgary Flames players. I think he's trying to get that to Alex Ovechkin over on the wall there, but like there was no chance of this puck ever getting to Alex Ovechkin. Like I said, there were two Calgary Flames players standing directly in the way. So Ryan Leonard with the pass right to the Calgary Flames. The Calgary Flames players who intercepted the puck there in their own defensive zone, they find their own guy, Blake Coleman, behind the defense now for the breakaway. And Blake Coleman, he scores, right? And so like I said, shorthanded goal, 7 seconds into the fucking power play here off of the initial face-off 7 seconds later. Unbelievable, right? Like you have a face-off on the power play in the offensive zone. 7 seconds later, the puck is 200 feet the other way and in the back of your own net. Unbelievable stuff here by the Washington Capitals power play, and their lead is cut to 3-2. But if you didn't think it could get any worse after that, oh boy, would you be wrong. As on the same power play here, we are still on the same godforsaken power play here. Same power play here for the Caps, and it is Igor Sharangovich, who is also not a member of the Washington Capitals. He is a member of the Calgary Flames, and he scores here on the penalty kill for the Flames. The second short-handed goal given up by the Washington Capitals on the same power play. The same power play, folks. 2 shorthanded goals against on the same power play, and we are all tied up at 3 goals apiece. And this one is just a comedy of errors here as Jacob Chychrun, the only defenseman on the ice here, right? Drop pass to absolutely no one in the neutral zone there. I think he was trying to get that to Ryan Leonard. Ryan Leonard was not expecting it, quite obviously. So yeah, essentially a drop pass to no man's land there. The Calgary Flames, they pick up the puck, come into the zone, but the Caps still have 3 men back. It was Ryan Leonard, who was supposed to, I think, be the recipient of that drop pass. Ryan Leonard is back, Dylan Strome is back, and Tom Wilson is back as well. So 3 forwards there. The Caps, of course, they do go with 4 forwards and just the 1 defenseman in Jacob Chychrun on their power play. So yeah, Ryan Leonard, Dylan Strome, and Tom Wilson are all back. And there were only 2 Calgary Flames players here on the attack on their penalty kill. So it was a 2-on-3 for the Calgary Flames here, right? You would think that with 3 defenders back, the Caps would be in pretty good shape, but nope. No one on this team knows how to defend on the power play, apparently. Like, that's what it looks like out there. You shouldn't be having to do much defending on your own power play, first of all. That's the first problem. But yeah, everyone on this play here is kind of just lost in no man's land, standing around with their thumbs up their asses. Calgary Flames score again, shorthanded, 3-3, and that is how the second period would end in a 3-3 tie against one of the worst teams in the NHL this season, in the Calgary Flames. We are tied 3-3 at the end of 2 periods after being up 3-0 after the first period, and the Capitals fans inside of Capital One Arena, rightfully so, they boo these motherfuckers off of the ice, and they deserved it, okay? They've really deserved it after that performance, particularly on their power play. I know guys are trying out there, okay? I know that they're giving a full effort. They're not trying to suck on the power play, but this is obscene at this point, okay? Something has to change here. This cannot continue. Like, forget this season. This cannot look this way going into next season. I've talked about it at length already. This is a team that they are one of the top teams in the National Hockey League at 5-on-5, at even strength. They're a very good hockey team. This power play cannot look like this heading into next season. And so yeah, the Capitals fans inside of Cap One, they boo their own team off of the ice at the end of the second period. And like I said, the players, they deserved it. And I am sure that they would tell you that as well, okay? They are not oblivious to what that power play just looked like out there, what that second period as a whole against, like I said, one of the worst teams in the NHL this season in the Calgary Flames, what that second period looked like as a whole. They are not oblivious to it. They know that they deserved those boos at the end of the second frame there. And I would suspect that someone, be it Spencer Carberry, be it a member of the leadership group, Alex Ovechkin, Tom Wilson, whoever it may be, somebody said something in the locker room during this second intermission because the team came out in the third period and they were ready to go. they put that second period disaster, that dumpster fire behind them in a big way, and they came out on fire in a third period that they absolutely needed to win against the Calgary Flames. And ironically, it would be the power play that would get them the go-ahead goal, the eventual game-winning goal for this game. Connor McMichael absolutely rips it past netminder Devin Cooley again. That is Connor McMichael's second goal of this game, and it is a big one here. You can tell by Connor McMichael's celebration on this goal. He was absolutely hyped. He was stoked to put this one in the back of the net here for his team. So a big goal, not only obviously because it puts them up on the scoreboard, right? Turns the score over to 4-3, and the Caps have the lead here again. Like I said, go-ahead goal, and it would stand up eventually as the game-winning goal by Connor McMichael as well. But even more than that, even more than just that it was a big goal because it put them ahead on the scoreboard, it was a big goal because it was a power play goal, right? And the power play certainly wanted to make amends after that disaster at the end of the second period, right? And they do that here. They make amends. They get a huge goal here, monkey off their back, just a really big goal and a really big sigh of relief from this power play to be able to turn it around mid-game there and get a huge goal for themselves to put themselves up 4-3 in the third. And you could tell that it pumped them up because 23 seconds after that, at even strength now, and now it is Justin Sourdif who decides that he is as well going to absolutely rip one past Devin Cooley, and this extends the Caps lead here to 5-3. So you come into the third period in a 3-3 tie, right, with your own home fans having just booed you off of the ice after that abysmal performance in the second period, and the Caps come out and bang, bang, like I said, 23 seconds, and they are now up by 2 goals, 5-3. Flames eventually pull their netminder for the extra attacker. Ethen Frank sends it into the empty cage, and that extends the Caps lead to 6-3, but they weren't quite done yet. 16 seconds left, and Devin Cooley back in the net now for the Calgary Flames, and it is Ryan Leonard making the steal off of the Flames all the way back in his own defensive end of the ice for the Caps. He makes the steal here and takes off. What wheels on this kid, takes off for the breakaway here against Devin Cooley, and he makes just an absolutely gorgeous move, disgusting move, forehand, backhand, and beats Cooley there for the breakaway goal, and that puts the Caps up 7-3 here late, and that would be, babes, your final score. So, like I said, off the top there, it did get hairy for a minute there for the Washington Capitals in this one, particularly near the end of the second period there. But ultimately, this ends up in a very big win, 7-3 for the Washington Capitals. And I loved what head coach Spencer Carberry had to say about his team after this game. He essentially said that, you know what, like no matter what the circumstances are, no matter what the standings are, right? No matter our position in the standings, no matter what the reality is for our team, playoffs, no playoffs, whatever it may be, and no matter the circumstances within any particular game, right? Like obviously, this game at the end of the second period was not going the Washington Capitals' way whatsoever. Their own fans were very pissed off at them, but rather than hang their heads and sulk around, right? They came out in the third period and they put the pedal to the gas there, and they really had a phenomenal third period. And so essentially Spencer Carberry was saying after this one that no matter the circumstances for this team, he knows and he has full belief in this group that they are never going to quit no matter what is going on around them, right? No matter what is going on, like I said, in this particular game, and no matter what is going on in the standings, no matter what other teams are doing on any given night, who's winning, who's losing, who's getting points, who's not, nothing is going to stop this team from showing up and giving a full effort, was essentially what he was saying. And I would say, I have to agree with that. I haven't seen these guys quit at all, even though they have been, quite a ways out of the playoffs now at this point. I haven't seen their effort level drop. I have not. And that's a really great sign, because you look around the league, There are certainly some teams, the Toronto Maple Leafs come immediately to mind, that the minute that those guys were like 4 points out of a playoff spot, they were like, see ya, I'm going home, I'm gone for the summer, checked out, right? And that as a professional hockey player, that is not fair to anyone. That is not fair to your fans who pay really good money, especially in Toronto, to show up and watch you guys play, you guys who get paid millions of dollars to play a child's game. It's not a good look, right, when you quit on the season. And so while Spencer Carberry, and he would know, right, he was an assistant coach with the Toronto Maple Leafs before coming to Washington to be our head coach. He has seen how different teams operate. And that is what he had to say after this game, was that although that might be the MO for some teams, it is not the MO for this team, not the Washington Capitals. These guys in this locker room, they are not going to quit no matter what. And yeah, the third period, like I said, would tell you that pretty clearly, right? After being outshot 14-8, I believe it was, in the second period, and obviously being outscored 3-0, including 2 shorthanded goals against. After that disastrous second period, the Caps come out in the third period and they just completely turn this thing around. They outshoot the Calgary Flames 13-5 in the third period, and obviously outscore them 4-0 as well. So a great job by our Washington Capitals turning this game around and giving themselves still at least a fighting chance at possibly contending for a playoff spot here, right? Like I said, it's not likely at this point, given everything that they've had to deal with here, but they keep themselves alive at least for another day, right? All right, babes, that is going to be it for this one. Thank you all so much, as always, for watching. Seriously, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I really, really appreciate you guys. Having so much fun here with you guys this season on the YouTube channel. Win or lose, we have a blast here, right? So thank you all very much, like I said, from the bottom of my heart, for always showing up. And yeah, it's been a blast here this season, and I'm sure it will be a blast here over these last however many weeks that we have left in this season, depending on if they make the playoffs or not, right? So for the Washington Capitals part, big back-to-back set here coming up for their next couple of games here. They play the Philadelphia Flyers in their next game, and then the very next night, they take on the Buffalo Sabres, who are scorching hot right now. Probably the hottest team in the league, to be honest with you. There are a few, but the Buffalo Sabres are certainly one of them. I believe at the time of recording here, they have won 8 straight games. So they are absolutely on fire. So that will be a tough contest, no doubt, on the second half of a back-to-back. But yeah, before we get to Buffalo, we have to contend with Philly first, right? So Philadelphia Flyers up first, and then the Buffalo Sabres. We will be back here on the YouTube channel after those ones, after that back-to-back set with your post-game reaction videos. So I look forward to that. Look forward to chatting with you all again. And until next time, babes, and as always, let's go, Caps.